Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC Podcast 124. Got Big Box Steve on the mic, got the big smooth and fresh Wes. And man, we got a lot of sports to talk about this week. Crazy college football. I think NFL is still a bit crazy. But yeah, we'll get into that this week. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, thanks for listening. So yeah, let's get into this. But before we get into it, we got to talk about our HSC Podcast Keto Challenge. Where are we at?
Uh,
Wes not feeling good about it. I hit uh, 15 pounds today, so 216, down 15 pounds. That was a good
yeah,
week
I'm
for me
just
this week.
yeah, I'm just at 8 pounds, but I feel like you're gonna win it, but it's for me, it's just for long term. So
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, he's definitely gonna win. I mean, I'm not down to anything, but I technically haven't really started. My dad, so I was doing it, and then I felt my dad was not eating, and then he started getting like really loopy, and it kind of I was like, all right, I'm going back to this fur until I can figure out a different way to do it. But this Thursday, I bought some chicken. I bought these skewers that I'm just gonna mow on and do that for a couple days just to get a good start. But yeah,
Well, the reality is if you just do, protein and vegetables, you're
yeah,
good too.
I,
I like to cook, obviously, so I make all the different things where I can still have bread and things, but they're all keto bread. But if you just eat protein vegetables, like you're good.
that's why I got the skewer. I got them at Costco for like $12.
Yeah.
And so when I'm out of town, I'm just gonna put them in my ice chest and just have skewers and not eat out.
Well, I
And I
went
can
a
still
week.
eat ones.
That whole week, I didn't lose any weight. I gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. Went back, and the reality is that you can't drink alcohol. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I watched football and I wasn't planning on drinking. And then, the Raiders were like 10 Raider fans showed up. And then the Bronco fans, I was like, dude.
I mean, we're gonna get into that, but man, that was brutal. So I was working. I'm getting my garden, cleaned out from summer, pulling all the old stuff to get ready to winterize it. I come back in. It was like 10:10. I come back in and it's like 35 to 10. I was like, what just happened? That was brutal. But so we'll keep talking about the keto challenge. We'll see how we do. My goal is try to work it through to Thanksgiving. Like I want to
And
get,
all bets are off on Thanksgiving.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Once Thanksgiving happens, don't matter, but I want to get down uh, another 15 by Thanksgiving. So you guys got to keep up.
Yep.
Well, let's get into this week, and we got to start with college football because this has to be the most crazy college football week. I don't know. I think I've ever seen. If Miami had lost, you would had what, five or six of the top 11 teams that lost. So as it
Yeah, I
stands,
think.
five of the top 11 in college football lost, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with number one, Alabama Vanderbilt. Did you guys see Nick Saban on College Game Day?
Yeah. I forgot his exact words, but they showed it up on the big screen at the end of the real game. They kept showing him. talking like, "Hey, the only easy win is Vanderbilt."
Right.
Something like
And he's like the only team
that.
you go to where more of your fans are at their stadium is
Yeah,
Vanderbilt. And so he said that last week and or the week before this game, and then Alabama goes in and loses to Vanderbilt. So what does this mean for Alabama? Like how are you feeling now about Alabama after the Georgia win? I felt I mean we talked about this before when we did our picks. I chose Alabama to win the championship, which I still think they might, but this is a big hit.
yeah. I mean, it is the new playoff era, so I don't think it. I think it's a blip, and other teams are going to have the same thing here. I mean, teams are starting to lose, and so whether they win, will they lose one or two is, I think even they lose two and they win the SEC championship, and that's not going to be an issue. Or excuse me, if they don't win the SEC championship, and that's two, I think they're in. It was a dumb loss. That's all. There's all to it. You don't lose to Vanderbilt.
Right.
Vanderbilt's not terrible, but come on, it's Vanderbilt.
So Alabama has Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma before potentially going to the SEC championship. Do they lose another game? Looking at that schedule, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma, Auburn.
I don't
They,
think they do. I mean, Tennessee didn't look good either. Either did
no.
Missouri got
Kill
spanked.
smoke. Yeah, I think I think I'm off the Tennessee bandwagon now. They're not. They're Alabama should take care of all those teams. The only issue is when you start getting into Auburn. I mean, Auburn's always tricky for them. That might be a slip up.
Well, you were on the Tennessee bandwagon, though.
Now I'm off. Well, again, it's one loss, but
Right.
still, they got holes. They're not. It's not like they're. I don't think they're championship material.
You mean Tennessee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alabama's
Yeah.
more. Alabama just I. It's a head scratcher, but they did. The Georgia game kind of probably deflated them after just putting out so much to beat Georgia. You just think you could walk in and beat Vanderbilt. It's just kind of one of those things. It's happened before, but not to Alabama. Saban, yeah.
Uh, that Texas A&M just beating up on Missouri, right? So they lose game one to Notre Dame, ranked 7 at the time. They win. They've won their last 5. Most recent Missouri. They play LSU. They play Texas at the end of the year. Can Texas A&M make some noise? They're technically leading the SEC because they're 3-0 in conference.
Yeah, I had Texas A&M beating Missouri last week. So yeah, I think they can. I mean, they barely lost their opening game
Right.
and they have a chance. I mean, they just destroyed Missouri.
What do you think about their long term though? Like into the end through the SEC, going into the SEC maybe championship.
I mean, they can get I don't know if they can win the SEC, but they can make the playoffs.
Right.
Think about it. We're probably going to have 3 teams from the SEC make the playoffs, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's gonna be three. I mean, you get 12 spots. 3 of them probably for the SEC.
Well, that's tough because let's say Alabama, Texas, right? Who
Georgia.
else goes? Because you still got Georgia, you got Texas A&M
Well,
that can
maybe
win
it's
out.
four.
Yeah. Could you have four SEC teams in the top
Well, think about
12?
it. Like you're gonna only have one from the ACC,
Right.
one from the Big 12, maybe two. Then you could still have four from the Big Ten and four from the SEC and still be two at large, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what conferences get automatic bids?
SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, and ACC.
Yeah.
So there's only four
There's four.
Right, because the
automatic
Pac-12.
bids.
And
Right.
they get those, and then those are the buys. So they get buys.
So you
So that
have
means
eight.
BYU can have a buy.
Well,
No, I
yeah,
don't know. They don't
we'll
get the
get into
buys. I
that.
thought the top four get the buys.
Right.
And if you win, if you're an automatic qualifier, you make the
Well, yeah. I because when everything I see is like they did a simulated like playoff. You had Ohio State, Miami, ACC, and then you had the Big 12, Texas, and then you had BYU. So I don't know.
So do the conference winners get the automatic bye?
Yeah. Yep. You just got to win the conference.
So you're telling me
That,
BYU could potentially get the
I think
bye?
that's how unless there's some sort of rule in there that says you have to be in the top 10. I don't know. I thought it was automatic bid if you're Big 12. Maybe I misread that. Because there might be something there like you have to be in
well,
the top 10
this says the four highest ranked conference champions.
conference champions. Yeah.
So I mean, you could say like
Boise
if
State.
Boise State's ranked
Yeah.
ahead of BYU, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They would get a bye.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, so it doesn't matter what conference they come out of
I don't think
if
so, but like
if they're
if
ranked higher,
right, the big four now get an automatic qualifier though.
but not necessarily a bye.
Right. That's what I'm reading. I might be wrong.
Hmm. Well, because
Yeah.
if you look
Five,
at
five, five. Like
BYU's schedule, like if they win out, they're gonna be ranked in the top 10. Especially because you just had five top 10 teams that lost. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to get into that. Um, so Tennessee loses to Arkansas, so that's a big loss for Tennessee. So that's number four. Texas by Ohio State won. So what do you guys? Oh, yeah. I mean, well, let's talk about week 6 first, before you get to week 7. So Oregon wins. Penn State wins. Miami did not look good. I mean, how does? Okay, so did you guys watch the Miami Cal game?
yeah, most of it. I fell asleep though.
They were down 35-10.
Yeah.
Come back, and there's an obvious targeting penalty that should have been called, which would have ended the game. And then Miami comes back and wins. So that for me was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but
I didn't see the targeting. I just saw the last drive.
oh, it was 100% targeting, dude. Launched head first, crown of the helmet into the guy's chin.
Yeah.
It's like the definition of targeting.
Cal should never have let it get to that point to begin with.
Yeah.
They were running all over Miami, and it's like, dude,
That's what happens though, right? A lot of teams, when you're beating a high ranked team, you kind of choke.
And Cal's never been. They haven't been in a situation like this for years. I mean,
Right.
they were 3-1. People were like, okay, they're not that bad this year. And then you get game day coming there. Like, I thought it was gonna be down in the Bay Area, and I was like, I was gonna go. I was like, it was insane. Like, I was like, game days in Berkeley. So they had all this hype for the game. It's like, yeah, you're up, by 20 something points, and they just didn't know how to handle it. It just kind of fell apart, you know.
Well, I will tell you right now, speaking of Miami, we talk about Heisman and Cam Ward has to be in the conversation, right?
Oh yeah,
2,200 yards already,
yeah. And look at
20
his victory.
touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2,200 yards.
Yeah, yeah, he's right there. I mean, to me, he's probably the favorite now when you think
After
about
that
it.
game, I think he is.
Yeah.
Even
I'll
with
give
the
you
game that
something.
Genty had,
95 carries, 1,031 yards, 16 touchdowns, averaging almost 11 yards a rush.
right?
And you're telling me Cam Ward, who barely beat Cal, is the front runner over Ashton Genty? Genty hasn't even played in two halves.
Right. Yeah, that's the crazy thing is that he sat in the second half for 2 games.
Well, like I said, he should win, but you know how these people are.
Yeah.
You know, if Miami goes in, they go in the playoff, they're a top 2 or 3 seed. You know, it should be. When's the last time a running back has actually won it? You know,
But Boise State doesn't play a ranked team, so
well,
they probably will get in the playoff.
Yeah, they barely lost to Oregon at Oregon,
Right.
where
That's
he
the
had
only
192 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
they
that's the
should have
only
won it.
loss they have, and then they play, their next 7 games, they're not playing a ranked team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's a good chance Boise State goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 more games. Yeah, they could go 11-1.
So Oregon messed up his average because he only averaged 7.7 yards per rush. Other games, 14, 13.4, 11.5, and 10. That's why it's ridiculous what he's doing. Cam Ward is just playing quarterback.
Right.
He's not doing anything.
But dude, the quarterbacks get the Heisman.
I don't think Miami's going undefeated.
If Gianti goes, if he blows past 2,000 yards, he's going to win the Heisman. He's going to win. They're always going to favor the quarterbacks that have the stats and win. But if he continues, I mean, how many games have they played? 5, 6?
5.
How many more
5
games do they
games.
have? 8?
7, 6. 6 more games.
Yeah. If he blows past
No.
2,000
Maybe
yards,
he would have 7 more games plus if they make the conference championship.
Oh, yeah.
So he has 8 more games.
8 more
his
games.
8 more games is if he continues this pace, he will win the Heisman. But right now, he's not even getting much traction. He will get traction in about a week or two. They'll be like, "This is stupid."
Looking at their schedule, I don't see how he doesn't rush for 200 yards a game.
Yeah.
Like, look at his schedule. It's not hard at all.
Yeah.
Maybe that last game against Oregon State. Otherwise, none of those teams are stopping him.
Yeah.
Actually, by odds, Genti is the front runner for the Heisman.
What is it plus what?
240.
Yeah. What's Milrose?
Uh, let's see. It doesn't bring up him. It was just talking that it was Travis Hunter, and then
Oh yeah, Travis Hunter. That's right. He's up
Oh,
there too.
that's true.
they say Genti.
Hunter's got a big advantage though because he's playing both sides of the ball.
Right. Hunter is 320. Ward is 450. Milrow is 900.
Yeah.
And then Dylan Gabriel and Carson Beck at plus 1400.
Boo. Carson Beck.
It's kind of crazy that Alabama is now 1-1 in conference, tied with like 7 other teams, and Texas A&M's 3-0 in conference.
Yeah, and if think about it, Alabama beat Georgia.
Right.
That was that's where the weird thing is like, oh, I could see 1-1, but it was not Georgia. It was
And then, well, Florida State, come on, dude.
It's awesome. Oh,
Is this not? They're 1-5.
awesome.
It's
I'm
funny
telling
because
you.
they beat Cal. But
Be careful what
man,
if they wouldn't have thrown a temper tantrum and like had all their players not play and then just ever since Georgia beat them by 60.
it's dude. And then like DJU looks like the worst quarterback I've ever seen. So what about Indiana though? This is a tough game. So they're playing Nebraska this week. Indiana's scoring like 50 points a game. Well, it's not the greatest teams, but they beat Northwestern, Maryland, UCLA. They're averaging 50 points a game.
Yeah.
Technically leading the Big Ten because they've played more games. So that's going to be an interesting game.
That's next week.
This is the coming week, okay, right? Or
No, it's the
oh,
19th.
they have a bye. Okay. Louisville loses again to SMU. USC, come on, dude. Losing to Minnesota?
Welcome to the Big Ten, right?
Oh gosh.
I had a bad feeling about the game. That was one of our bets because when I was at the casino, I couldn't bet on Washington because I forgot you
Oh,
can't
it's
bet
in
on.
Washington, yeah.
And then they didn't have a spread on the Miami game. They didn't have it. So
Well, we would have lost that one anyway.
Yeah.
No, I would have won because I just took Miami straight up.
Oh,
I didn't take any point spreads, and we would have won almost $1,000 on 3 games. But guess what? South Carolina loses and USC lost. SMU is the only team that won. I was like, and I felt I didn't want to take USC, but it was the only one that would have gave us like $1,000. Everything else, it wouldn't give us any money. I was like, come on, you got to beat Minnesota.
What about Michigan though?
well, it was tough going into Washington. That's
Yeah.
always tough. And we knew Michigan wasn't Michigan.
Right. But it's Washington.
But what? But see, the thing is, Washington's got a good NIL apparatus. They rebuilt pretty good. I don't really like their quarterback. He's okay. But they've got players everywhere. They're still good. They just don't have the passing game that they did last year. They had a great running back. They're a different team. They're more of a run-oriented defense
Yeah.
team now. And
Well,
that's enough to beat Michigan.
Will Rogers not having a horrible year. I mean, he's doing all right.
It's all right.
And then what basically happened is we thought USC was good. So when Michigan beat USC, then you're like, oh, but now we saw a lot this last week. We're like,
Yeah.
nope, that was the reason why Michigan won.
Right. Because USC and Michigan lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, again, I have not seen, maybe this is just me, but I have not seen a five top 11 teams lose in the same week.
Well, I have, but it's been some years. I remember those Oregon years where that one year they're ranked number one. They played Stanford and lost. And yeah, it's happened, but for Alabama, it's shocking just Alabama losing. I mean, being number one and losing to Vanderbilt. That just kind of started the domino effect, you know.
So what's your guys' top? Are you Texas or Ohio State right now?
Right now I'm Texas.
Texas.
I just think overall they have the players and they have two quarterbacks that can, we'll see what Will Howard does this week. I still don't know about him going forward.
We'll know this week. Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas, Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about week 7 because obviously the big game is Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than 2 and 3, right?
Right.
But it's in Oregon, so I think that's a benefit to Oregon.
Yeah, it is.
What do you guys got here? Like, what do you guys think about this game? So we're what are we, week 7. Ohio State, Oregon, in Oregon, number 2, number 3. I don't feel like Ohio State's played a very tough schedule up to this point. So maybe they're not ready.
Yeah, I mean, of course they got great receivers. They had good running game. I heard that Oregon's a little banged up on their line, which could be a factor. But I don't really care. I just think they're playing at home, and Dylan Gabriel is playing a lot better. He seems like confident in the offense now, and
Right.
I think that's just enough. I think that's enough to beat Ohio State. You're playing at home. The home field of it. If they're playing Ohio State, I take Ohio State. They're playing at home. I think it's enough to beat them.
I think my feeling is this game's gonna be decided at the line, right? Offensive line, defensive line on both sides of the ball. I think Oregon will struggle on the defensive side of the ball because Ohio State's line will push them. So you really need Gabriel to have a big game.
No, he's got to have a big. If he doesn't have a big game, Ohio State's going to win. I just think he's going to.
How did Oregon luck into every hard game being at home?
Yeah. No, I mean, Oregon's set up to go deep. If they can play, they play right. This is it for Oregon. If Oregon wins this game, they're in good shape.
Right. Because then the only other real teams they got are Michigan, Washington. We already just talked about them, and Illinois,
Right.
which isn't as good as we thought they thought they were.
Right.
Yeah, it's if they win this game, then the rest of the year they're playing for a bye. That's what it is, and that bye is winning the conference championship.
You know what's interesting about Gabriel, right? The dude, he's thrown for 1,500 yards almost, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and people are talking about how he's not having a great year.
Well, he's top 5 in Heisman odds though, so
Yeah,
It was that first game against Idaho. That's what it was like.
he didn't look
Man,
so good.
you were playing Idaho. But again, it's still he's adjusting to a new offense. I mean, he goes from Oklahoma to here. It's still it took a couple of games and now he's on fire. You know.
So what do you guys got? What are you taking? You
I'm
guys
taking Oregon. I'm
taking
taking
Oregon?
I'm taking Oregon.
I got Ohio State.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Oregon as well. I think at home, I think these teams are very equal. So I'm gonna go with the home team. This is one of those ones where it's a toss up and you take the home team. That's my thought process. So that's a big swing. But of course, we got the other big game, Texas, Oklahoma. We call it the Red River Bowl,
Red River Live. It's
Red
weird
River rivalry.
not being played at 9 in the morning. Weird. Like it's always played at night. I wake up and it's on. I'm like, okay. Now it's played at 12:30. It's kind of weird.
Can Oklahoma compete with Texas here? God, Oklahoma has such a tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean, was it last year they Oklahoma beat them?
Well, they played Tennessee already, which they lost, but then they played Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri, and Alabama.
Welcome to those SEC. This is what they wanted.
Right.
You'd
Careful
much
what you
rather
wish
be in
for.
the Big 12 right now.
Yeah. And dominating the Big 12.
Oh, yeah, you're. I I gotta take Texas just because I don't think they're gonna slip up like that they did before. Even though I like Hawkins, Oklahoma's quarterback. Um, I mean, I think Texas runs away with it.
Yeah, I
What do you
agree.
think, Derek?
Yeah, I think Texas runs away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. When you think about it, Oklahoma's at home, though. I know it's not a long ways, but
Wait a minute, I thought aren't they playing the Cotton Bowl?
oh, wait, yeah, you're right. So they're
Yeah,
really not at home.
yeah, because they
It's kind
always
of
play
neutral stadium there.
unless they changed it.
Yeah,
No,
it's the Cotton Bowl.
it's Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's the at Oklahoma doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, is that really a neutral stadium? Because that's Dallas.
It's really Texas. Yeah. Yeah, you
Well,
got to go Texas here. By 14, probably.
yeah.
I think I take the spread as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Texas by 20,
Yeah, something like that.
but that's a big game. Like, so this is Texas's big challenge. Well, I guess Michigan, but Michigan, as we know, seems like trash.
Yeah, but they did it in Michigan.
That's good, but Michigan does not look good anymore.
All right.
Well, but they got Georgia next week. Jeez, Texas, man.
They have Georgia.
After this, yeah, next
Oh
week,
God.
and then they finished last game of the season is Texas A&M.
Oh yeah, it's
Well, welcome to the SEC.
Right?
this is what they wanted. This is no cakewalk anymore.
How is it that I mean, I always Auburn, dude, the worst team in the SEC right now.
Rebuilding. Yeah, rebuild that whole program. Gonna take time.
That's rough. But that's going to be a good game. So that's a 12:30 game. Let's see. Alabama, South Carolina,
Boo.
Utah. I don't think
South Carolina. Boo.
Mississippi
USC, Penn
LSU.
State. What's that?
Oh, Mississippi LSU.
That's a night game? Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah. That's a big one. Well, Ole Miss, I mean, they're heart of their schedules right now, right? They play LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia. You're gonna find out what Ole Miss is all about.
What old Lane Kiffin's all about?
Yeah. Well, no, we knew what they're all about against South Carolina. That was stupid. What?
Well, and LSU losing that first game to USC killed them. Because if they hadn't lost that game, they'd be top 10 for sure. Coming in to play Ole Miss, they still got Texas A&M, Alabama, Oklahoma later in the year.
It wins most of those games. I mean, no. And the thing is, you get into the heart of your schedule. People think they're out of the playoff picture. No, they're not. Other teams are going to lose. You just got to win.
Yeah.
You're not. This is not charity. You're going to have win big games late in the year, and try to get into the conference championship. And if you don't get in the conference championship, you better have only 2 losses to make an at-large.
I think now we're going to start seeing normalizing that you can have 3 losses and still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Technically, right. In the SEC, definitely. Even the Big Ten.
Well, I think those are the only 2 conferences that you can lose 3 and get in.
I don't know if you can do it in the Big Ten. I think it only SEC.
Well, maybe this year, but I think coming years,
yeah,
the Big Ten will be that conference. What about upset alerts? Any upset alerts? You guys looking through these games? I think
Arizona upsetting BYU.
That's mine. I think Arizona BYU, that's dangerous for BYU. Because they're only 4.5 favorite at home. They're ranked 14th. Arizona's unranked. You're only getting them 4.5.
Yeah. That's a tricky game. I'll pick in Arizona anyways.
What about Kansas State, Colorado? At Colorado?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Colorado's playing better. They're playing good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to tell with Kansas State. Kansas State should be one of the best teams in the country, and they're not. They got talent. Colorado could win that.
So yeah, I'm looking at that game. I'm looking at the BYU Arizona game.
Stanford at Notre Dame, upset alert.
Stanford and Notre Dame. Does anybody really care about that game?
I don't know. Well, they're gonna care if Notre Dame loses. They pull Northern Illinois. No, they should win that.
Iowa State at West Virginia. I'm telling you.
That's what I was going to say. I was
That's a
thinking
dangerous
West Virginia
game.
could do it.
Yep, that's a dangerous game for Iowa State. Because they're ranked 11.
Right.
And first of all, you don't want to play West Virginia at home.
No.
And then you're only coming in as a 3-point favorite. You're ranked 11th. They're not ranked, and they're only giving you 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking West Virginia there.
The other one I will say just because is Penn State USC. That could be a trap game right there. They got to
For
go
Penn
to
State?
they got to go to USC.
Come
And
on, dude.
I'm just
USC has let us down week
but what I'm
after week.
saying is Penn State struggles to score points.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
the only thing. The only problem with the USC, man, they just look dysfunctional. You know, they got weapons. Their defense isn't that terrible. I think that's a tricky game for Penn State.
Well, I don't believe in Penn State either, so I
Yeah.
could
They're
go
ranked
with
number
that.
4 though. Now they're ranked number 4,
Dude, Penn State's trash, dude. Come on.
dude. Come on, dude.
Well, it's because everyone else is losing.
Right. They're just a product of this moving up.
They play Penn State football. They run the ball. They play good defense. They always have the best linebackers in college football that go to the NFL.
You know
They've
what's
been like this
interesting?
since 1968.
Dude, they only have Ohio State. That's it. I
Well,
mean, there's other teams that are competitive, but no
yeah.
ranked teams.
Yeah. So let's say they lose to USC, win all the way to Ohio State, lose to Ohio State. They only have 2 losses. That
They
probably gets
might
them in the playoff.
they might go. Right.
Oh yeah, because they'll only have 2 losses, and they don't even have to go to the conference championship. So that Penn State's in that position where it's like, okay, well, we lost 2 games, we're probably going.
I don't think they lose to USC. I don't. I'm taking Penn State there.
Then they should fire. They should fire. I'm so bad with names right now.
Who is the coach of USC now?
Lincoln Riley, excuse me.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah, he's still, but didn't Penn State get a new coach?
No, it's still Franklin.
Oh.
Old Franklin.
Where did what's his name go from Morgan State?
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan State. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah,
They suck.
they're not good.
They're horrible. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a few trap games in there, like West Virginia, Iowa State. I think that's a trap game. I'm not saying they'd win, but if I'm gonna try to get some good odds, I'm betting on that one.
I don't see 4 games for us to bet on this week.
Right. You gotta have a parlay.
Well, you could always bet 3. We bet 1 each.
Illinois, although they didn't play great against Penn State, they're still 4-1. Got Michigan, Oregon to go. And they're still dangerous. What about Syracuse, dude? So I don't know if you've watched any of these Syracuse games, but Kyle McCord looks so much different than he did at Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like he goes to Syracuse and then can throw the ball all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow went to LSU to, you know what I mean? He didn't get any play at Ohio State, so.
But look what they made Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. I don't know. I think that might be a downfall for Ohio State. Like you didn't take advantage of a pretty good, decent quarterback.
Well, me and Wes have been saying just put in Sayin.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that the Oregon game could change the quarterback going forward if he does not play well. They should put in Sayin, but he's got to lose first. And then he's got to play bad again, and then that might happen. But Sayin's going to play sooner rather than later.
It's interesting that Ohio State's the favorite at Autzen.
Well, they're like a 2-point favorite, right?
3 points.
3 points. Well, yeah, because they're Ohio State. They're the brand.
Right.
I do feel like the over under should would be good to go over. It's
What is it?
53 and a half.
Oh,
Yes.
they're going over that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Yeah,
just
I'd
do a
take
bunch
the
of
over there.
overs.
Right. Yeah,
No,
that there
or
you
you
go.
you could do one over and then, do a spread and then do a just straight up.
Well, Georgia, Mississippi State, 53. That's the over there, 100%. Georgia's probably going to score 40. I'd take that as an over.
Yeah.
Texas, Oklahoma, 50 points, dude. Texas will put up 50.
Well, I was thinking Arizona BYU is going to put up 50.
Right. Yeah, I think those overs, there's a couple overs that I think are pretty easy.
I'll have to look at that. Let's see how much we can get for just doing overs. You'd have to do about five, probably.
Well, what a $20 for parlay, it's 200 bucks, right?
Well, yeah.
Here's one, Boise State is favored by 20 and a half against Hawaii. I think they could beat Hawaii by more than 20.
Right.
Yeah. Hawaii is not very good.
Well, it's
But
a
it's in
61
Hawaii.
point over. Oh, I would take Boise State by over 20 there for sure. Not as good of a week as last week, but there's still some good games. Uh Utah going into Arizona State. That's an interesting game.
Yeah.
Arizona State's better than they're getting credit for.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough game.
Well, Utah's just they're so hit and miss because they just lost, didn't they?
Oh, I forgot.
Here, let's see. They're 4-1. Yeah, they just lost Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Arizona's, man, like they're pretty tough. They're 3-1 right now. 3-2? No, 3-2. Because they lost to Kansas State. Oh, but then you lose to Texas Tech. That's bad.
Yeah.
But some good games this week. I think the Oregon, Ohio State, that's the game to watch, obviously. So upset alert. Let's each give one. So what's your guys' upset alert? You have
I was
one
thinking
game.
what? West Virginia.
You're
I
going to
think
take West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
Iowa State.
Oh,
Yeah.
Iowa State. Yeah, Iowa State.
Take West Virginia.
Wes, you got an upset alert?
Uh, Jeez, I don't want to take that. Wake Forest or Clemson.
Oh, really? Okay. I could see that.
I'll never believe in Clemson.
I'm gonna go with Colorado beating Kansas State.
Oh, I thought you'd take Arizona.
I do want to take Arizona, but man, they're so hit and miss. But because Arizona, when they're on, like they're tough. But no, I'm gonna stick with Colorado. I'm gonna take Colorado here in Boulder. So Colorado, Derek, what do you got?
West Virginia,
West Virginia, and West. You're going
Wake
Wake
Forest.
Forest.
Wake Forest. That's a big one, dude.
Yeah.
You can put all your money right there. Because against Wake Forest, against number 10 Clemson, 20-point favorite. What kind of odds you getting on that?
I guess I'll find out maybe.
It's gonna Debo's gonna freak out.
So before we get off NCAA football, uh, here's our NCAA football question of the week for you guys. Best NCAA quarterback in your mind, all time.
All time.
Well, let's just last 20, 30 years. Like, let's not go back too far just because people listening won't know.
Well, I already know Steve's answer. Um,
Best NCAA quarterback. Oh, I don't think you know my answer, but what do you guys think?
I mean, recent. I mean, that's the thing. Recent or
Well, last, 30, 40 years. Let's keep it in our lifetime.
yeah.
Well, I'll give you guys mine while you think about it. Obviously I'd like to choose Tommy Frazier. Easily could pick him, but I'm going with Vince Young.
Boo.
Dude is a beast. And when he won the championship, that run and playing USC, like I gotta go with Vince Young.
I'll just say it. Tim Tebow.
Oh, I mean, it's hard to argue.
I mean, I'm not talking like we're just talking college here. I
Right.
mean,
That's all it is, college, right? There's not a lot that he didn't do in college, man. That's hard to argue. I remember watching that, what was it, Netflix special?
yeah, the Swamp
The
Kings.
Swamp. Man, that was nuts.
Well, I just think that's the thing that was so great about Tebow is now you see all those people that he had in that locker room, all that dysfunction, all that like messed up stuff. I mean, Aaron Hernandez and like munch others, and he kept them all in line.
Right. Well, because he worked so hard and he was just
Right.
so committed. You can't play around a person like that and not be that committed.
Right.
All right, so we got Vince Young, Tim Tebow. What do you got, Wes?
Man, I can't take Matt Leinart because of Reggie Bush. I got to
Carson
go.
Palmer.
No, I thought about that too. I was like, Carson, no. He had one good year. No, it's got to be, I think it's got to be Tim Tebow too.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, he did win a national championship when he was a true freshman. He did play, he did contribute, and then he goes in, destroys, God, who they play in the Sugar Bowl, wins the national championship against Oklahoma. I mean, yeah, I guess say Tim Tebow. He had three.
Yeah,
Three.
it's tough to argue Tim Tebow. That's 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of quarterbacks recently, have those type of careers anymore.
No, they don't. They don't have 3 good years like that.
Right.
I mean, I want to take Tommy Frazier too, but reality here, it's you know,
Well, if you want to get down to like athleticism, it's hard to argue like Tebow or a guy like Tommy Frazier because the ability to run the ball and throw the ball and do all those things. That's why I like Vince Young because he was ridiculous in college because he's like 6'5", like
Yeah.
220.
yeah. He had 2 really good years.
Yeah,
And
statistically, like ridiculous years.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at guys here like Danny Warfel and like Ty Detmer. I mean, the funniest one's Colt Brennan. I mean, they put up the numbers, but you're talking three. That Tommy Frazier actually had 4 really good years. Well, he had 3 really good years.
Yeah.
Right.
He went to literally 3 national championship games. He went to a national champion. He was playing for it when he was a sophomore.
Dude rushed for 200 yards in a national championship game
Yeah.
as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But then you can go back and you say like Tim Rattay, playing for Louisiana Tech,
Louisiana Tech.
right? Throwing for what? What did he throw for in his career? Like 10,000 yards?
Yeah, but yeah, well, what talk was it? Timmy Chang,
Right. Oh,
David
Hawaii, yeah.
Klingler,
Yeah, Timmy Chang, yeah.
Andre Ware.
Right. Andre Ware, he was at Houston, right?
Yeah, him
Yeah.
and Klingler. Yeah, because Houston had a ton of them.
Right. So there, I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but you got to figure, winning championships, having good stats, staying healthy.
I will say, like Vince Young, it's kind of crazy to say because he was at Texas, but it was him, and he willed that team to win.
Dude, he ran the ball, he threw the ball, like yeah, he literally. I
Did they have
remember.
Jamal Charles? Was that who they had at running back?
I think they did. Yeah, I think it was Jamal Charles. But I don't know if you remember watching that game. I don't. I didn't think there was any way Texas would beat USC.
I'll
No.
tell you the story. I was at work. And so on my computer, I had like Gamecast. So I was just watching like the stats and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's 1st and 10. It's 2nd and 8. You know what I mean? I watched it later because I was pissed that I missed it. Stupid swing shift.
So I watched that whole game, every play. And when it came down the end and then he ran it in for the touchdown, that was amazing.
I was like, don't let him run. I mean, they
Right.
let him run.
But
It's like,
to beat that USC team, I think that USC team was the best teams I've ever seen.
well, their offense was, their defense was okay.
Yeah, they were ridiculous.
Their
Do you
offense,
consider that the biggest upset, or do you consider Ohio State beating Miami?
no, I consider Ohio State beat Miami.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. And that offense of Ohio State, and they have Maurice Claret and a bunch of other guys.
Chris Gamble.
And Gamble, it's like, come on, like that was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna get into it. Like, is that? What is the biggest upset
In a national championship.
in a national championship?
Um, that I've seen.
Well, we'll keep it within our lifetimes because
Well, we kind of have to because
right,
like before the BCS, remember it was like
right,
here we got #1 Penn State playing #8, blah blah blah.
yeah, yeah. You need to have that 1 and 2, playing each other.
The one that stands out is still because as a kid watching it was when the 93 Sugar Bowl when Alabama beat Miami. They beat them down. Like it wasn't close. Like I remember that Miami team. Miami team was so good. And for Alabama to beat them 31-13, Ohio State game was close. A lot of people said Miami they got robbed.
Oh, they did get robbed.
They got robbed on.
Yeah.
But Alabama shut Miami down. When Miami defending national champions, undefeated.
Well, we can talk about the Phantom clip
Oh, jeez.
in the Nebraska Florida State game if you want to.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, I'm trying to see the Gators 2006 against Ohio State because I'm pretty sure
Ohio State was number one.
Ohio State was ranked or was
Number one.
favored by a lot.
Which is dumb. I still understand that.
Well, I haven't looked at this one. So we got to do a little research here.
Let's see here. Oh, okay. So Ohio State was favored by 7 over Florida, and Florida won 41-14.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at
Wait, what year was that?
2006.
2006. Okay.
That was the Chris Leak with Tebow,
Oh, yeah.
Troy Smith.
Yeah, yeah, Chris Leak. That was an interesting one.
Yeah, so it looks like okay, so Ohio State or Miami was an 11-point favorite. And then pretty much everything else was cool, Although what was the score? This doesn't make sense.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Florida State.
Yeah.
What was the score? Because mine just says 13-2. That's not right.
No, they were ranked 13-2, right?
Oh.
I think Oklahoma was 13 and Florida State was 2.
Well, that can't be right because it was a
No.
BCS game.
No, number one. Oh, never mind. Oh, it was number one, number 3. Florida State scored 2 points.
I don't know if that's right. I got to look this up.
That's what that's what it says here. Yeah, that Texas. Yeah, I think I actually that Florida Ohio State game. That's a big one. What about Clemson beating Alabama?
Oh yeah, it was
44 to
13 to
16.
freaking 2. What was that?
Uh, Clemson beating Alabama 44 to 16.
Yeah. But that spread was only like 5, wasn't it?
Right.
5 or 6.
Yeah, I think that 2008 Florida Ohio State is one of the big ones.
Yeah, because I remember watching like the pregame and everyone was like, "Oh, Ohio State
Right.
easily," and it was like total
Just
domination.
dominate them.
Your guy from when they went to the Bears, Alex Brown, had like
Yeah.
2 or 3 sacks in that game.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that Florida Ohio State game.
Because I don't consider the Ohio State Miami because Miami got screwed.
Yeah. Well, that's some good off the cuff NCAA football trivia there.
Well, now that we're getting into the NFL, to
Yes.
celebrate Derrick Henry's 100th touchdown, I've got trivia for you guys.
All right, Wes. We'll wait for Wes to get back. Wes, I can't do the trivia. Come on, dude.
I had to go to the bathroom.
So, since Derrick Henry scored his 100th touchdown, there's only been 14 running backs to have 100 touchdowns. Who are those 14 running backs?
What's the question?
Walter Payton,
Yeah, he's number 7.
Barry Sanders,
Yeah, Sanders is tied for, oh no, he's 10.
Jim Brown,
Jim Brown, yep, 6.
Eric Dickerson.
Nope.
No?
No, Dickerson doesn't have 100 touchdowns.
Emmett Smith.
Yep, he's 1.
Um, Sean Alexander.
Yeah, he's 9. He's ahead of Barry Sanders. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. So how many I got? I got 5 there. We got 5?
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Well, I'll give you Derrick Henry, so that's 6.
Derrick Henry 6, and we got 8 more.
Yeah.
100 touchdown running backs. Earl Campbell?
Nope.
No.
There's only one.
Oh, LaDainian Tomlinson?
Yep, he's number 2.
Yeah.
There's only 3 that are from the 80s and earlier left yet.
Wait. So there's only 3
that are like
older.
Old.
Right.
Okay. Adrian Peterson.
Yep, he's number 5.
That's a good one.
You got Derrick Henry. You got Barry
Frank
Sanders.
Gore?
Yeah, Frank Gore is number 12 with 100. It's tied for 12th with 100.
Oh, Curtis Martin.
Yep, Curtis Martin's
Curtis
tied
Martin.
for also with 100.
That's a good one.
Yeah. We got Marcus Allen, right?
No, Marcus Allen's number 3.
Okay.
Oh, Marcus Allen. Jerome Bettis?
Nope. The 2 from the 70s, just think bruisers.
Franco Harris.
Yep, Franco Harris is tied up.
And Larry Zonka.
Nope, not Zonka.
No.
The other bruiser. I guess he'd be 70s and early 80s.
Otis Riggins?
Anderson?
Riggins?
Riggins.
Oh,
yes.
Riggins. Yes, Riggins. That's who it is.
Okay,
right.
So now, I think, did you get everyone now?
I think we did.
Yeah. Wait. I think there's number 4 is still left. I think I don't know if you got him. He's really good at receiving touchdowns too and rushing.
Dalvin Cook. It's not Dalvin Cook. I thought he was the best.
No, not the greatest receiving running back of all time. I don't know. Maybe I don't. You guys went through him so fast.
Roger Craig?
Give it to you because I think you got it. Did you say Marshall Falk?
Oh, Marshall Falk.
No, I
didn't know. We didn't have Marshall Falk. Yeah, that's the only miss.
Yeah.
Thought it was Dalvin Cook. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's just great at receiving, maybe not getting touchdowns from receiving. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So it's Emmett, LaDainian, Marcus Allen, Marshall Falk, Adrian Peterson, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Riggins, Sean Alexander, Barry Sanders, and then tied with 100, Derrick Henry, Frank Gore, Curtis Martin, and Franco Harris.
Yeah. That we did pretty good there, though.
I did. Did we get Sean Alexander? I didn't even.
I
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Yeah. Well, because he had like 30 in 1 year.
I'm just surprised he has more than Barry Sanders.
Well, dude, Barry played for the Lions. Come on. Well, let's get into this NFL. Let's talk Sela. I get it that they're not doing well, but is this guy not fired because of Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I mean, they don't want to say that, but that's technically seems like that's what it is.
Dude, come on. You got
But
fired because you don't get along with Aaron Rodgers.
he also got fired because he's not a good coach at all. I mean,
Yeah, his record is horrible.
his
Yeah,
record's bad, but here's the thing. It's like he's supposed to be he's like a Pete Carroll-ish guy. He's supposed to get in the guys' heads. He's like almost like a therapist as coach. He doesn't bring anything unique to the table. He's just supposed to be good with the players.
right.
And obviously he's not good with the players. I mean, there's so much dysfunction. And also it starts with him. I know it's Rogers' fault because he's such an egomaniac. But at the same point, I mean, you're asking questions at press conference. Well, me and Aaron have a great friendship. It's like, what are you talking about?
No, you don't.
What are you, a camp counselor? You are the coach of a New York franchise, not Jacksonville, not Cleveland, New York.
Right.
You sound woke as hell, dude. It's not gonna fly with New Yorkers.
Well, you're going to have pressure on you all the time,
Yeah.
and you're not, I guess, willing to stand up at all.
Yeah. I mean, the Zach Wilson thing should have got him fired.
Right.
Just the indecision. You can't make up your mind. You go back and forth and back and forth. I heard he got escorted out of the facility today. Like,
Yeah.
escorted him out.
That's what happens when you get fired.
Well, yeah, but still, do you
Dude.
think there are words that were said?
They take a box and they put all your stuff from your desk into this box,
Yeah.
and some like person from HR that you've never met like walks you out the door.
Yeah. But of course the media has to say that. Like it doesn't
Right.
happen. But you don't know what was said or anything was said.
Just to be honest, like I don't even care about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about anything. I would have fired him last year.
That's what I'm saying. He should have got fired last year.
I don't, honestly, who needs to be fired is the GM, Joe
Yeah.
Douglas. Because Saleh, you know what Saleh was brought into? And he's not a rah-rah guy. He's a defensive dude. Oh, what? Their defense is pretty damn good, right?
Well, he's a defensive coordinator.
No,
Right.
it's not. Well, yeah, it's his guy. His guy's taking over the head coaching job. They're not going
Right.
to
But Saleh was the original 49ers D coordinator.
Right.
He was the first before D'Amico Ryans and before everyone else.
Yep.
And their defense was really good. You know what Joe Douglas did, though? He freaking traded for Aaron Rodgers. He drafted Zach Wilson. He brought in Paul Hackett as the OC. That's not Saleh. And it's not the defense that's falling. It's the offense. And seriously, I sent you guys the thing. Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, same amount of points through
Right.
the first 5 weeks.
Well, Hackett is a problem.
But that's because Aaron Rodgers wanted
Right.
Hackett. Just like the Raiders, Luke Getsy, because Devontae Adams wanted Luke Getsy. Look
Right.
what happened there. Aaron Rodgers, I sent you this, is Daniel Jones. But we talk about Daniel Jones as like, oh, he's a pariah and he needs to leave New York. He sucks, right? But Aaron Rodgers, he needs more help.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Jones is also Trevor Lawrence and
Yeah.
all these other guys, dude.
And here's the thing is Daniel Jones is not that bad. He just plays for the Giants, right?
He's had times of being bad. He runs the ball well. He's got a strong arm, but there was a point where he hadn't thrown a touchdown in like what? How many games?
Yeah, but could you name his receivers or what he had around him?
He threw more touchdowns to the DBs than to his own receivers.
Right, but now this year he's got 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,100 yards,
Yeah.
86 passer rating, 64 completion percentage. All better than Aaron Rodgers.
They also went to the playoffs, right? The year before, and then we were hyped on them last year. Remember
Yeah.
that? All of us chose them to go to the playoffs.
What's that mean?
That was pretty rough, dude.
Yeah, but remember they had nothing. Like their line, yeah. I'm just saying no. Sala needed to go and they need a fresh start, but let's not think that everything is fine and dandy now once Sala's gone.
No,
Rodgers
no.
needs to go, Hackett needs to go, the
Well,
owner needs to go.
here's the thing. Actually, they gave Saul a quick death. They're going to give Aaron Rodgers a slow death because part of the reason is I think they want to say, hey, you know what? You talk all this stuff. You're always in the media. You know, you're on Broadway before you even play a football game. Hackett's your guy, right? Look at your offense. I mean, defense is playing good. I mean, defense holds a team to 10 points. You score 9. You know, you're not scoring points. You're not producing an offense. So what we're going to do is we'll get rid of Sala. You want him gone. Everyone knows that Rodgers doesn't like him, but Rodgers doesn't like anybody but himself. That's his problem. And he likes Hackett. So you know what? We're going to give you the team for the rest of the year. We're going to sink or swim with you. You know, if we win, we get the playoffs, get the playoffs. If we don't, you'll get booed out of New York. And it's going to be all on you. Your whole reputation, your whole career is on this. It's all on you.
Dude, Rodgers doesn't care, dude. He's done. Rodgers
Done.
his career's over.
He don't look very good at all. He looks a little bit older.
He looks like he doesn't even want to play football anymore.
No, he doesn't. No.
You watch him, dude.
He doesn't
You
look
watch
like
him, the way he acts on the sidelines, you know, the way he does not look like he wants to play football anymore.
No.
Daniel Jones, I'm gonna go back to this for a second. I will take Daniel Jones over Trevor Lawrence right now. And this is a guy we talk about, a number 1 overall pick, a generational talent. And dude, Trevor Lawrence is trash. I'll take if you had give me a team to start and you said you want Daniel Jones, you want Trevor Lawrence, I'll take Daniel Jones.
I'll just take neither. I mean, come on, dude. What are we talking about here?
Well, you have to take one of the two, dude. That's not the point. The point is you got to take one of the other.
Either elephants or donkeys here. Are we talking, what we're talking about here?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's like
Daniel Jones went into Seattle.
No, I'm taking Daniel Jones too if I have to. I mean, if my hands are tied and I got no other options, you know, Trevor. I don't know what's wrong with Trevor Lawrence. He just fell off a cliff.
And he's got talent around him too.
Yeah,
that's
a ton of talent.
Tank Bigsby. I mean, they got dudes that can fly, and it's like, how just get them the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, what don't they have like 100 receivers too now?
Oh yeah, you got Thomas, you got Kirk, you got good tight end in
yeah, you got Gabe Davis, you got ATN,
and Gabe Davis too. Evan Ingram, the tight end. You got a lot of people.
Although, I mean, to be fair, he was 28 of 34 for 371 this last week.
Right.
Yeah, he played better.
But you're talking about one game of each dude's been there for what, 3 years now, right?
Yeah. Well, Urban Meyer kind of destroyed him too.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit of your guys' favorite topic, Devonte Adams. Is this an actual trade? Does he actually leave Las Vegas? What's going on with Devonte Adams?
Oh yeah, he's gone. I mean, he's basically it's actually funny because it's made the team side with Antonio Pierce over him. Because he went to say he wanted to be traded after they won.
Right.
And then he goes on Kay Adams' show and he's like, when she's like, oh, well, Antonio Pierce liked a thing about trading you. And he's all like, dude, you fucking, excuse my language. You went and asked for a trade a day before. So don't go on the show and go, I don't know why. Stop it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so yeah, I guess you're saying obviously he's gonna be gone, right?
Yeah, and then hey, good luck with that. Good luck going. Well, you want to go to the Jets still? You want to go to the Saints now that Carr's hurt? Really? Here's the thing, Adams and Rogers, these guys, be careful what you wish for. The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you think you're like, oh, I don't want to put the work in here, you go someplace else and it's even more of a dumpster fire.
It's tough though, to honestly though, to be a receiver in Las Vegas.
Why? Because they have such a great quarterback. Like
I
to
guess
throw the ball to the other team, ruin my Sunday.
that's kind of the
Going
point,
great.
dude. It's like it's kind of tough. I mean, as much as you want to like stick with your team, it's hard.
Well, they could trade him to the Browns.
Well, they have
Or,
no quarterback. That's
you trade him here. Look at this. So you could trade him to the Jets. Is that going to do anything for him? You can trade him to the Browns. You can trade him to I mean,
I mean, they are talking about the Bears for a second round.
yeah, that's going to be great. I mean,
The Bears are gonna have like 16 receivers.
right. He's going to love
They
that
could
too.
run 7 wide.
7 wide. I mean, it's hard thinking about though. I guess the question is where is a good fit for Devonte Adams?
I mean, that's look at what's happened over the last this weekend, and you look at some of these teams, and he really wants to leave the Raiders. Well, do you want to go? Like I said, the Jets look terrible. The Steelers are talking about putting back in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, the Steelers are actually a very feasible option right now.
And Carr looked terrible, and he's hurt. So New Orleans doesn't look that great. Honestly, what really sucks is the Cowboys look even better.
Right.
Because that's what they need. They need to get CeeDee Lamb,
Oh,
everybody
man.
off CeeDee Lamb.
Can you imagine CeeDee Lamb and Devonte Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't. They can't. There's no way they can get the
I don't
cap
think they could
space.
restructure his deal to afford him. That's why I thought, well,
The ideal spot is the Ravens.
Really?
true.
He wants to win,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that his big thing?
Oh, that wouldn't be fair.
Boy, that's brutal.
That would not be fair because Likely and Devontae Adams, like,
Yeah.
there for when Lamar's running around, doesn't know what to do. Oh, let me throw it to. Do I Likely? There's Devontae Adams. Just that's not fair.
But here's the thing: if I'm Mark Davis, because this is the one that I can't wrap my head around. They're like, because the Raiders could trade Devontae Adams to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Come on,
I'm sure.
like that would ever happen?
Oh no.
But if it did happen, man,
Oh
that would
no.
just kill
Oh,
you guys.
oh no. We'll kill everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
think
that's
about
why I don't think Mark Davis would do that. I would
Yeah,
see him rather be like, well, I'm going to give the Ravens best chance to beat the Chiefs.
right. I think he's got to go to the NFC.
and then I honestly a better scenario would be the Bills, but I don't think they can afford him either. And the Bills need a number one. They need a stud receiver. Josh Allen needs that. He was 9 for 30 against Houston.
Oh, it's horrible.
I couldn't believe my eyes because I couldn't hear the game. I was like,
They
what?
don't, the Bills do not have, and Keon Coleman will be there
Uh,
eventually, but he's not right
Somewhat.
now. He's
Somewhat.
not.
He's not there. They need a stud receiver.
So the Bills are going to be up and down all year. But he's a big question,
Well, like you said, though, I mean, if we're going to trade him to the NFC, it's going to be the Commanders, probably,
right?
right?
Oh my gosh, imagine him going to play with Jaden Daniels,
That's who he wanted for the Raiders to have, right?
right?
So let's trade him to the Commanders.
Yeah, I guess just looking at the whole thing, I think it's just kind of it really feels like he's gone though, right?
Oh yeah. I can't stand when you try to be like the victim of something that you started.
Right,
They weren't looking to trade you. You went to them and say, trade me. And you
right.
can't go on other people's shows and get all of, oh, well, yeah, I can't stand that. It's like, just show some backbone. You don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. That's fine. Don't be like playing a victim.
Well, I've never liked that about Devontae Adams though, in the first place.
And I guess rumors are is like a lot of people
He's kind of
on the
always been that
team,
guy,
a lot of people on the team were kind of irritated with him
right?
watching the receivers doc, and they kind of were put off by him.
Yeah, but he's obviously a great receiver, so
Yeah.
a lot of teams are going to want him.
But that's the thing is, did he really make a difference for the Raiders?
Not at all.
Yeah.
He has
So
done nothing since he got there.
yeah. Yeah. So
And they saw, I mean, that was their big free agency pickup. And really, they did nothing at all. So,
no. Well, to be fair, it was freaking Josh McDaniels, so that messes everything up. And to
I'll,
be fair there too, that's what messed him up. He wanted to go to the Raiders to play with Carr, and then what did Josh McDaniels do? Well, let's get rid of Carr.
all right. I'll still, I'll still blame Eberflus till the end. He's my Josh McDaniels.
Gosh, you've had a few though. You had what was his name? I keep forgetting Nagy.
Matt Nagy. Oh my gosh.
I
He
forgot
was
about him.
worse.
I could yell his name more than Jay Cutler's name. They're probably equal though. All right, well, let's get into NFL week 5. What are we, yeah, we're week 5 now, right?
In week 6.
Week 6. Yeah. We're week 6. All right, so HSC Podcast, NFL Week 6 picks, Thursday night football. We're starting San Francisco at Seattle. Yep. Well, that's why I had the wrong one up. So I'll lead off here. I'm gonna go San Francisco. I'm gonna have to stick with them, even though it's in Seattle. Just not a big fan of Seattle. You just lost to the Giants. You didn't look good at all. San Francisco didn't look great. So it's a battle of two horrible teams
For the division.
for the division. But I'm going to stick with San Francisco here by 7.
Yeah, I agree. I got San Francisco here. I haven't trusted Seattle for 3 years, and I'm still not going to trust Seattle. So yeah, the Niners. have almost everyone back, just not McCaffrey. So I'm going to take the
Yeah,
Niners.
he's never coming back.
Madden curse.
What do you got, Wes?
San Francisco. They have to win. You can't lose more division games. They already lost to Arizona. I'll take San Francisco.
Yeah,
Didn't they lose to the Rams too?
Yeah.
yeah, they did back to back, right? Rams, then Arizona. No, they beat the Patriots in between, but they still lost both their division games. Yeah, because they lost the Vikings. They beat the Patriots and the Jets. That's it.
Doesn't look too good.
Dude, I don't know why are we even picking the
Yeah, I know.
49ers? I don't know. All right, Derek, Jacksonville at Chicago.
No, Jacksonville and Chicago and London.
Oh, in London, right.
Oh no.
And that's why it's not a Bears home game, it's a Jags home game. And I'm taking the Jaguars, the darlings of England. Jaguars are going to upset the Bears because they play there every year. So I'm sorry, Steve, but Trevor Lawrence has been listening. He said you heard you called him trash, so he's going to go out there and have
He
a big.
is trash, so that's
He's on
fine.
Steve's all hate team.
And you know what? Just like Sala getting fired after a London game loss, maybe Eberflus will also.
I mean, I would be okay with the loss if that's what happened. All right, Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like I get the Jags here. They're playing at home, pretty much. It's their home. And
Jacksonville's gonna move to London.
well,
Probably.
they like to say, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. I doubt it'll ever happen. But that's
They
kind of what
probably should.
this London series is basically about the Jags here. So I get the Jags. They have, they're 1-4. They
No.
have to win if they have any shot at all playoffs. I'd take the Jags.
Look, Linda. Listen, Linda. There is no way the Jags are winning this game.
Good.
Caleb Williams throws for 400 yards, and the Bears win by a minimum of 10.
Steve is going to be wasted before the 10 o'clock games.
I mean, it might be because if the Bears cannot beat the Jags, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They don't deserve to win any games. So this has to be Caleb Williams' breakout game. It has to be. He's had good games. He's thrown for over 300 yards multiple times, but the Jags are bad. They're real bad. And so Chicago has to win this game. I don't care if it's in London. I don't care where it is.
Crazy things happen in London.
They do. You're right. And I agree with that 100%. Which it might be crazy that Caleb Williams might complete a pass. So this is a swing game. I'm going with Chicago. All right, Wes. Arizona at Green Bay.
I'm going with Green Bay just because they're playing at home for the most part. I mean, I think it'll be close. I don't think Green Bay will cover, but taking
Yeah.
it.
The 5-point cover.
I took in my Super Bowl. I took Arizona. Oh,
No, I'm taking Green Bay here too. Not to cover either. I think they only can win by 3 because they're at home. I think it's a coin flip game, and I'm taking the home team.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Oh, of course you are.
I don't think Jordan Love is going to have a good year. He doesn't look right. He throws too
No,
many.
he
He
doesn't.
threw like the second worst interception in the NFL
Yeah.
last week. That was dumb.
The Cards are coming off a high of beating the Niners. You got Kyler Murray, Connor. You've got Trey McBride's healthy now. Wilson, Harrison. They're looking pretty good. So I'm taking the Cards.
Man, we're already too deep in the swing games. Well, after last week, I'm going to need it. So need to catch up a little bit here. Indianapolis at Tennessee. I hate this game because, like, you don't even know who's going to play. Like, they're all hurt on all teams. I'm going to take the home team. I'm taking Tennessee. Just going to stick with them. So I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee because I just can't trust the Colts. You never know what you're going to get with the Colts any week. Jonathan Taylor's out. So I don't know. I This is like a coin flip game. I have no idea, but I'm just taking Tennessee here.
What are you
Yeah.
doing, Wes?
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee too. Colts are dysfunctional. Tennessee's playing at home, and they have to win a game at some point. This is
At
probably
some point. If you bet on them every time, eventually they'll win, right?
hey. This time I'm actually taking Tennessee instead of Indianapolis. So
That's what I keep thinking. So that's why I took Tennessee. Let's see. Houston at New England. There.
Oh, I'm looking for it. I can't find it, but I'm just taking the Texans. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Texans by 10. Drake May is going to start. He's going to get destroyed. It's going to be an ugly game. And then everyone's going to be like, why'd you start Drake May? Because everyone was clamoring for it. The team's not ready. But yeah,
not ready.
yeah, Houston is going to win by 21.
21. Wow. What do you got, Wes?
My prediction is pain. Pain for Drake May, dude. Mr. T, man. Rocky 3. Yeah. Um, Houston's gonna win I say they win by 17.
Well, here's what I got to tell you about this game. Drake May is going to throw for 330 yards, and they're still going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Because they'll have like 5 interceptions.
So Drake May does come out, honestly, has a good game. But I think Houston's better on both sides of the ball. They'll go up early by like 17 points, and then New England will throw the ball 45 times. And Drake May will have decent statistics, but they'll lose by at least 14.
And he'll get sacked 10 times, probably.
Right. But he'll still have decent stats. Let's see. Tampa at New Orleans, Wes.
Oh, you got to go with Tampa because Derek Carr. Who knows what's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's not playing.
You're gonna throw out Rattler or Hayner, whatever you want to throw out. Baker's gonna get the job done. It's not gonna be pretty. I'm taking Tampa though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tampa as well. I think Tampa just has more athletes, and but it is in New Orleans, which is a tough one. Tampa's only 3.5. I do think they cover. I'm taking Tampa by 6.
Yeah, this one's a difficult one, not because like any normal time I would take Tampa easy, but they're going to be freaking out a little bit because of the hurricane coming through their area. So there's going to be a lot on their minds. It's going to be more than just football for them. But I still got to take them because it's going to be Rattler starting. So, but it's one that you could be like, oh my gosh, why did Tampa play like crap?
The I guess if you're looking for because it's only Tampa 3.5, right? That's a good take for the home team because home team gets 3 automatically, right?
Right.
So you're saying Tampa by a half a point? That's not a horrible one.
Sometimes the odd makers know stuff.
Yeah. Cleveland at Philly. I just can't keep taking Cleveland.
Come on, Steve.
Super
I
Bowl.
honestly I thought that Deshaun Watson would not be starting by now, which is why I picked them. I actually thought he wouldn't be starting by week 2. And now he's walking off the field on 4th downs. So I don't even know what you can say about this guy anymore, but they're not winning. And they're going to lose at Philadelphia significantly. So I'm taking Philly.
Yeah, Philly's coming off their bye. The Browns are a mess. Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles by 10 at least.
Yeah, the Eagles. Eagles are gonna win. I mean, I don't know if I'll pick the Browns very much anymore after
Can we
what.
talk about this one? Is this the worst trade in NFL history already?
It's pretty close to the Panthers trade.
Right. Except the Panthers didn't give up 200 something guaranteed
Yeah,
money.
So the money's different, but when you think about what the Bears have gotten player wise, that's pretty hard. You got Tyreek Stevenson, you got now Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, uh, the tackle. I don't know. That's a tough one because it's bad. It's real bad, but it's right there with the Bears trade.
Yeah,
It,
because
it it's almost like what the Herschel Walker trade, right?
right, because the with the what the Texans got out of it was Kenyon Green, offensive lineman, John Mechie, Kristen Harris, a defensive lineman, Damian Pierce, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, Kamari Lassiter, Stephon Diggs, and Cade Stover. They
Yeah.
got, yeah,
That's really good. That is really good. I think, Reggie Bush, remember the Reggie Bush trade?
no, what was that one?
was one.
The New
Why would
Orleans
anyone
trade?
trade a bunch for Reggie Bush?
Or no, Ricky Williams. Sorry, Ricky
Oh yeah, Ricky
Williams.
Williams, where they traded their whole draft for
Right.
him. That was
That's what I
dumb.
meant. Ricky Williams.
Yeah, good
So
old
I think
Vic.
Herschel Walker, Ricky Williams, DJ Moore, and now Deshaun Watson. I think those are the 4 of the worst trades ever.
Yeah.
It's hard to say which
Oh,
one's the worst.
Russell Wilson to the Broncos.
Yeah. It's bad. Not as bad as these other ones, but that's bad. All right, so we got Philly. We should Philly, Cleveland. We all picked Philly, right?
Yep.
All right, so Washington, Baltimore. Uh, Wes, I think you're up. Washington Commanders at Baltimore.
I'm taking Baltimore. Playing better.
They're at home.
They're at home. They're at the
This
home.
It's tough though. Washington's playing pretty good. 4-1.
Yep.
Of course, their four wins are the Giants, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Browns.
Yeah.
But I'm still taking Baltimore as well. I think Baltimore at home, that's tough. And I don't think the Commanders are there yet to beat Baltimore at home.
Yeah, this is kind of like remember last year when the Lions played Baltimore because they're the up and coming team, and then
Right.
Baltimore just annihilated them. Baltimore's two losses were what, a foot and just a collapse, right? They should be 5-0. So yeah, I'm taking Baltimore here. It Commanders just aren't there yet.
I mean, we'll see in their next like 6 games. That's where they're tough to the meat of their schedule. All right, so let's go back here. Oh, here we go. The Chargers at Denver. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I think they'll run the ball. They'll keep from committing turnovers, which is what Denver needs to win because their offense is trash. So I'm going to take the Chargers in like the worst running game you've ever seen, like 6-3.
Yeah, I got the Chargers winning too. I mean, if poor Wes had to watch the Raider game, but like with if Minshaw didn't throw that pick six, it would have been 17-3.
Yeah. That's the torture of it.
So I think that like just destroyed the Raiders right there. And that's how the Broncos just won. Just it was all in their heads. But I don't think Broncos are very good. And Chargers are gonna run the ball well and win out. Win, I mean not win out, but win this game.
We got 2 Chargers. Wes, what do you think?
3 Chargers.
3 Chargers.
They're gonna lose. Broncos are gonna lose for what they did to the Raiders last week.
Do you think it's going to be a blowout?
No, it'll be close. Not a lot of points scored in this game.
I mean, the Broncos did blow out the Raiders last week.
Technically, yeah.
So did the Panthers.
Dude, I mean, you just brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything, but man, you got destroyed by the Panthers. Their only win of the year.
Yep.
That's rough.
Well, it's a rough season, and the problem is the Raiders need to keep losing because other teams now are showing that they need quarterbacks too. So
Right.
they need to get one of, if I'm going to say 3 quarterbacks, which is Shador, Milrow, or Ward. They need one of those three. So they need to
Right.
have
But that means you got to be in the top, bottom, what, 5?
probably.
That's a long year.
Yeah.
It's like my last 3 years of Bears.
It's better to do that bottom out than be like teetering on average and being in purgatory. And that's what the
Right.
Raiders have been like the last 15 years. They need a
Yeah,
quarterback.
they
Just
do. Like
implode.
you gotta have a quarterback.
And I continue start go ahead and start Minshew the rest of the year, so we just lose the rest of our games. Trade
But
with Adams.
you think O'Connell's gonna do any better?
Huh?
You think Aiden O'Connell's gonna do any better?
We'll probably do a little bit better, but a little bit better could be the difference between us getting a quarterback and not getting a quarterback.
Right.
So
Or
you
maybe
must,
being like third and seventh.
I mean, I'm sure there's a quarterback on the practice squad. Why don't you just move him up,
Right.
promote him to,
Maybe Antonio Pierce just go out and play quarterback.
No, we should just get Zach Wilson. Oh, here, Zach, you can start.
Oh my gosh. I still have high hopes for Raiders. I'm not gonna lie. You guys can come back. Not this week though. Because let's talk about Pittsburgh, Las Vegas. Derek, what do you got?
Well, every time I pick the Raiders, they lose. So I'm taking the Steelers here. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, their offense is so inept. It's bad. I
But the
mean, we knew
Steelers
it.
are on a two-game losing streak.
I know, but we knew it when we watched the Bears last year. It's like,
Yeah,
why are you hiring Luke Getsy? He got fired.
it's
You
so
don't
bad.
hire a coach who got fired the year before.
It's not so much that he got fired, it's the fact that his offense is ridiculous. You're not stretching the field, you're not, getting people open. Guess what? Now Devontae Adams wants to leave, and
But that's the reason why Getsy's there is Devontae
yeah.
Adams. So yeah, I'm ready. Just play bad again, lose, get rid of Getsy finally, get rid of Adams. I mean,
Get rid of the team, dissolve the team.
You sound like the Bears last year.
Yeah.
because we got Getsy.
All right, Wes, what do you got? Raiders at the Steelers at the Raiders.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers. Um, they are on a 2-game losing streak. I think that ends. It has to end for them. And what a perfect team to end the streak than when you play the Raiders.
Yeah, I really didn't want to pick the Steelers here, but the Raiders just aren't what I thought they would be.
Let them off the hook.
They let them off the hook. They are who we thought they were. Uh, yeah, so I got to go with Pittsburgh here as well. Detroit at Dallas. Wes, what do you got?
I'm taking. Oh God, I can't know. I'm taking Detroit because last year they got hosed that stupid call. So I'm taking Detroit to get beat the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, I think they're gonna smack the Cowboys because the Cowboys watching this last game against them against the Steelers, they
Oh,
looked horrible.
it was like I had to stop watching. I'm like Super
Oh,
Bowls, Roger Staubach, Bradshaw,
dude,
Steelers, Cowboys, right? And this is what we get now in 2024. Like
so
the
bad.
Steelers and the Cowboys. Where's Lynn Swan? Where's Stallworth? Where's Jack Lambert? No, we got Dak Prescott and
Justin Fields. Like seriously, like
JJ Watt could
when
play on those 70s teams. JJ
when
Watt.
Justin Fields looks like the best quarterback on the field, like you had a problem.
Yeah. Definitely not Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, I agree. I have to take Pittsburgh here. I think Dallas is primed to not make the playoffs.
Oh, I predict that. I took Washington over
I
Dallas.
think you get Washington at this point,
Yeah.
and at the next, if one goes, is going to be Philly. I don't think Dallas goes to the playoffs, so I'm taking Pittsburgh here.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Or
Screw
yeah,
Dallas.
sorry, Detroit.
Because if you'd have taken Pittsburgh, you would have lost because they
Yeah.
lost.
Well, I took Dallas, so I won that one. It wasn't a good win, but I won it.
Yeah, everything Wes said. I mean, the Lions are coming off a bye, and you know they probably played that game so many times, and Campbell's getting them really ticked off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I think they win by 10.
I think they run all over the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got Detroit by 10 as well. Oh, I think they run down their throats.
Yeah. They just stuff
I
it.
got both of their running backs going for 100 yards. I think Gibbs and Montgomery go for 100 yards. Atlanta at Carolina. I get it. It's at Carolina, but Atlanta's still going to win this game because Carolina's the worst team in the league. The only team they can possibly beat is the Raiders, and they're not playing the Raiders, so I gotta take Atlanta, but not by a lot. I think Atlanta is not great, and so I'm gonna just take Atlanta by 6, which
Yeah,
is,
the Falcons are
I
going to
guess
win
I'll say
this.
6.5 just to cover.
Yeah, I think the Falcons win by 7, but it isn't like a blowout.
Yeah. What do you got, Wes?
Atlanta. I won't even talk about that other team. Just go Falcons.
Carolina so bad. Bryce Young to the Dolphins. Watch
Yeah.
out. That's the next
They
trade.
need something because I mean, Mike McDaniel, he's going to get fired because
Oh,
what?
I would 100% go after Bryce Young. If you're going to bench him and then, hey, come over here, get Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and now OBJ coming back.
Yeah.
Along with HN, Mozart, and Wright.
Right.
Yeah, that's a perfect situation for Bryce Young.
Perfect situation.
If Tua can do it, Bryce Young can do it better.
Yeah. I mean, Tua can't even throw a ball. So Bryce Young could probably do it for sure. I think that's a great trade. I'd love to see
Well,
that
it's a
happen.
great. I've been talking about that trade for a couple of weeks. I'm like, dude, it's got to happen.
Love to see that happen. All right. Let's go. Next pick. Cincinnati at the New York Giants. Derek, yep.
I'm taking the Bengals here. The Burrow, Chase, Higgins have started to come alive. I mean,
Right.
it might be too little too late, but yeah, I think I got the Bengals here.
West Bengals Giants.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. Chase had a game last man. That touchdown run he had last
41 points, dude. 41 fantasy points.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking Joey B and I'll just call him Iceman now because it looks like Val Kilmer in Top Gun, dude.
I think he looks like Ellen DeGeneres.
No, someone said that. Like a lesbian. He does.
That's what he looks like.
Dude, he got woke real fast.
Super woke. But I still think he's going to win, so I'm going to take the Bengals as well.
Andrew Jones, man. Jeez.
I mean, the Giants, they're just not good. Daniel Jones is playing better, but you've got now well, hopefully Neighbors is back for this game, which I think he will be, which helps them a lot. But they have no running game,
Well, Singletary, he's hurt.
right? So I have a hard time with that. So I'm gonna stick with the Bengals here. Here we go. Last game, Buffalo at New York. Wes, what do you got?
Is that Monday night?
Yeah, the Bills
Oh,
and the Jets.
we might go to the Bills bar Monday night. Okay. Well, I'm taking the Bills. Um, yeah, I it's gonna be a close game. I think more points. I think Aaron Rodgers will come out and he'll have a couple touchdowns. But I think the Bills win in the end.
Well, I'm not gonna stay with the Browns, but I am gonna keep riding with the Jets. So I'm gonna take the Jets here. Even with the firing of the coach, I think at New York, of course, Buffalo's not far away, but I'm going with the Jets.
Jets, 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 Jets.
Yeah, there's no. I think the Bills, because Bills are mad. They're going to come out. The Jets are even more of a dumpster fire than the Raiders right now, and Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers does not look good. So yeah, I'm taking the Bills.
what is he? He's too old. Too
Cool.
He's too old.
Dude, he looks like Alex Guinness from Obi-Wan in the first Star Wars. He looks old, dude. He's got to do something with that beard, man. It's grayer than.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have to roll with the Jets. Got to do it. Got to do it.
You got to make up some ground, so you almost have to go.
Right.
You should probably roll with the Browns too.
Oh, well, we were super close until this last week. So that wraps up that's the last game, right?
Yeah.
Um, so time out this week, you guys are both 9-5, and I was 5-9. So that's a 4 game swing right there. I will admit there are a few stretch games I went for last week, but I didn't think it would end up that bad. Because I think we were all within 1 game, almost to 500. So you
Yeah,
guys would,
I was at 500. I think. Wes, what is your overall record?
yeah, I think you guys were equal.
Yeah, I'm 41 and 37 now.
Yeah. And then, so now both of you are 4 games over 500.
Yeah.
So I got a little work to do, but we got some swing games here. Need
Hey,
to
at
win
least
these.
your fantasy football team is doing well.
Well, yeah, let's talk about fantasy for a second. What happened in the HSC Podcast Fantasy League? Let's see. So, Derek, you won, staying at 4-1 on your in the East. I'm 4-1 in the West, so we both are winning the division. Big Mike went up to 3-2, tied with Wes. Uh, Team Night, Holly's dad dropped to 3-2 after I beat him this week. You know it's crazy though? If you look at the points for, I have 680
Yeah, you're crushing it.
in 5 games.
Well, and wasn't it like only because you had really one bad week, didn't you also?
Just week 1. against my sister, of course, which she's like all happy about and loading.
Yeah, because what? Then you went 144,
Yeah, I just like killed it in points
154. Oh yeah, 132.
in 142. So I haven't been under 130 in 4 games.
Jeez.
That's tough to beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, though, the league's looking pretty good. It's pretty competitive. I mean, Raul, who hasn't changed his team at all, 0-5,
Well, I thought he was. I think once he started losing, he stopped.
but you and Wes and Big Mike are in a battle, 3-2, 3-2, 4-1.
Right. But
So you can't afford to lose a single game.
yeah. Well, Big Mike's gonna have an issue this week because it's starting to be buys.
Well, he'll change his team.
Oh, is he really gonna change? Is he doing it?
Yeah, we talked about it the other day.
Okay.
So we'll
That's good
see.
because I don't want him winning again, not playing.
Right. Any fantasy football waiver wire picks? Anything people should be looking at? I think interesting is Wandell Robinson is still available in our
Yeah.
league, which he's not available in a lot of leagues. And then Josh Downs too. Like I have Downs in my other league who just gave me like 15, 16 points.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins is available in our league.
I mean, that's not a horrible pick. He's coming around. So Dowdle, I think great pickup. Also Bigsby, which I think he's underrated pickup right now from
Yeah, from
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I think that's a interesting pickup. Mark Andrews on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Like, really? Is he not always been one of the top 5 tight ends?
It's been a while since he wasn't.
Right. So depending on who's on your waiver wire, I mean, those are some good guys. And then Joku coming back off injury. So a lot of good players out there. Okay, so as we wrap up here, last question. Looking at the picks. So looking at this week, what's your biggest upset alert?
Cardinals beating the Packers.
Yeah, Packers by 5. You think the Cardinals win that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with the Giants beating Cincinnati. Even though I picked Cincinnati, the Giants at home being an underdog and Cincinnati's just not playing good. If I was gonna bet some money on it, I think I'd probably go with that. So Arizona and the Giants. You make that two team parlay. That's what we'll do. All right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Wes is gone. See you,
Wes is
Wes.
done. He's already done.
Yeah, so good stuff there. Can't wait for this couple games in college football. This is a big week in NFL. We'll get this up there. Don't forget to comment, like. Thanks for watching. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. And we'll see you guys next time.